Good evening and welcome to HUR at Home. I'm your host, Angela Stribling, and tonight's superstar is Major. I mean, I've never met this gentleman, but I was so excited up until this moment, and he's running a little late, but I didn't want you to wait. And if there are any questions that you want me to ask Major, go ahead and put it in the comment section. But, you know, I've been listening to Major's music just for as long as he's been out, but today I thought I would just ingratiate myself with all this Major music. And I found another song that I fell in love with. It's called Keep On. And yeah, I mean, it's not the ballads that we normally play, like on WHUR, of course, we play Honest. And, you know, I was going to see if he would sing Why I Love You for us. He still has a couple of minutes. Maybe he's fashionably late. And if he does come, I think he owes us a song or two. Isabella, you know, I just have never met you in person because you are all the way in Dubai. But can I just say, you are my favorite. I am so happy that you're on almost every one of our lives. And that's what we love. We love our loyal WHUR listeners and our viewers. Monica Morgan, how are you doing, lady? Awesome, I know. It would be so awesome if he does show up, and I am, you know, I'm just hopeful. And, you know, sometimes things just happen. So that's why I thought I'd come live and just let you know what's going on, because you're the reason that we do this. So, you know what, while we do have this time and we are waiting for Major to show up, I'd love to talk to you. So what are you doing? How was your day? All right, Carl, how you doing? Carl Clark. Major, you know the singer Major. You know Major. It's from Texas. He had that song, This Is Why I Love You. He hits those high notes just effortlessly. That song, Honest. He's got a lot of songs, but those are the main ones that we play. In fact, This Is Why I Love. Actually, it's Why I Love You. Stevie Wonder said that is the #1 wedding song, and I think he's right. Yeah, I think that's a high compliment. So, all right, Isabella, how is Jasper doing? You know what? Every time, right before I go live, Jasper knows that I'm getting ready to go live, and he hits me up for snacks. So Jasper's doing great. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so glad I was able to connect with you and give Major this great introduction. I don't know if he heard all those flowers I just gave him. And you know what? I love his voice so much, I'll give it to him again. He's a pop soul musician. He's a songwriter. He's an actor. He's a vocal producer. And one thing I didn't know, I'm going to have to ask him all about this. He's a stage performance coach. Ladies and gentlemen, he did not disappoint us. We love him for that. Put your hands together for Major. Hey!
How are you?
I am wonderful. You're trying to make me sweat over here.
Were you nervous? You're like, he ain't checked it.
A little. But you know what? Not really. Not really, because I knew you would come, and I just figured I'd use this time to connect with our viewers and our listeners, and so many people love you. Oh, Mary Green says, hello from Waldorf, Maryland.
Oh, hello, Mary Green. What's happening?
Major, how are you doing?
You know
how
what?
You feeling?
I am in a beautiful space right now. My heart is good. Adjusting to this new normal has been a bit, you know, turbulent at times, but I've been blessed more than not, you know. So
I love that,
and I'm just leaning into that. A lot of building and a lot of growing, so it's a good space.
I love this. So you know what? I too am good. I've got so much love in my heart and gratitude that my friends and my family have not been affected. You know, my close personal friends. Unfortunately, we did have a couple, you know, in my radio family who have been affected. And, you know, one who has been there for a long time passed away. Patrick Ellis was our gospel, you know, a legend in this market.
Yeah,
you know, we do gospel on Sundays. And there's another young man who, you know, recently had it suffered but pulled through. You know, the prayer warriors were
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
it. So shout out to
Absolutely.
Coach.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Well, it's
that's
good to
that's
know that you're well. I know oftentimes you make room to hear everyone else pour out and, just
yeah.
give and vent. But sometimes you need to have a moment to check on yourself as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I am meeting you for the first time, and I got to tell you, full disclosure, I have been so excited all day just to meet you. I really am.
I'll say this, and I'm married, so you don't have to think I'm trying to hit on you or anything. But most people say folks have a face for radio when their face doesn't match how good they sound.
Yeah.
But you really have a face for this thing. Like
Oh.
and your voice is butter. So I'm with it.
Thank you. I so appreciate that. I love it. I love it. Well, so I am, I have a show called Pillow Talk with Angela on WHUR, and I'm also the voice of the Quiet Storm, and we have a 24-hour Quiet Storm station. And Major,
Makes sense.
every time one of your songs come on, I just have to stop. I'm just saying. I'm like, wait a minute. Every time you get me.
Is it
I mean,
I love you, and you're like, oh Lord, oh talk to me, or is it I just want to be honest? Yeah, baby.
wait a minute. You can't start off like this. It's all of that. So when did you discover this beautiful falsetto of yours? Is it the classical training?
Well, what's interesting is most baritone voices, which I am, we have a falsetto that we can go to, that head register that a lot of us don't discover until like a weird moment. And for me, like, because a lot of folks don't know Nat King Cole had it. Barry White had it. A lot of our giants that didn't lead with their falsetto
Wow.
had that special magic. But I discovered it. I did it a little bit as a kid. That's why they kind of nicknamed me Choir Boy. I would add a little high notes, but my voice was also high. But then I hit the voice range, and I'm like, my range is different. This is different. And it was crazy because I would personally do stuff in my false, but I wouldn't do it on stage when I got to college at Berkeley and stuff. And it wasn't until I graduated that all of a sudden I started messing around there, and it almost kind of feels like my secret weapon, like this like heavenly frequency that I go into, and it just hits people in a way that nothing else can. And I'm like, oh wow,
It's
this
true.
is wow.
God has blessed you. And you're right. I mean, it's I guess you didn't use it until you felt comfortable, because you weren't used to leading with that and coming right out with it. So, but once you're like, you know what, this is uniquely me, it's beautiful.
Absolutely. Because folks were, they love my tone. I have that kind of raspy tone. And so I would just lean into that. I'm like, well, if that's what you want, I got that for you.
Right.
And it just started taking me places. And it's almost like heaven meets earth for me. When I use it, it's like I want to give people this escape, and that falsetto takes them on the journey with me. Yes. So it's pretty special.
It really is. I mean, there are hardly any words to really describe it. And there are, I studied voice as well. In fact, I started out classically trained, and I'm a jazz singer. But one thing, as you were talking about, one thing a lot of people don't realize is that the lowest of lows can go high, very, very high. It's that stretch, as low as you can go, that's as high as you can go.
Yeah.
So for someone with a voice like yours, it's crazy. Oh my gosh. It's very, very special. Carl said, who is your all-time favorite male vocalist?
All-time favorite would be Nat King Cole.
Mm.
Woo!
So
My
smooth,
God.
effortless.
And and and
Ah.
and shortly thereafter, um, it's a tie between Donny Hathaway and Sam Cooke and Marvin Winans. Those three are like just chilling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all the masters, and with all of them, like yourself, you feel it. When they sing, you feel it.
Awesome.
You feel
Awesome.
it. Yeah, yeah. I love it. So, all right. So we've discovered how you discovered, or when you discovered your falsetto. And I guess when you're listening to the people that you like, maybe you borrow a little bit from them until you find your own
Absolutely.
voice. Can
Absolutely.
you describe for us when you found Major's voice, when you're like, this is mine, when you knew it was, because you do have your own unique sound?
Well, I kind of understood that I had something different early on because I went to performing arts schools. I went to, the same high school that Robert Glasper and Beyonce and Brian Michael Cox, a lot of greats have passed.
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick Swayze, absolutely. And so for me, I was acquainted with my distinction early on, and I leaned into it. But it wasn't until I got to Berkeley and was transitioning out of graduating that I really began to embrace it all the more and just say, "Yo, this is you. You have something that is distinct, and that's your superpower. That's your superpower." Yeah.
Yeah. And I wonder because, I mean, your ballads, good Lord, I can just hear you sing ballad to ballad to ballad. But then I'm sure as an artist, you don't want to be put.
Yeah, because we can speed it up a bit and put some 808s in there. I have like my song "Better With You in It," and I have a song called. Like if you hear
Move
those,
on. Listen, you're gonna have to. I didn't even get to that one yet.
Yeah,
and the video is fire.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I'm like, look at you.
This independent artist life is quite intense, but it is certainly paid off. I'm grateful that it has reached so many. Who knows what this next chapter will be, if it'll be backed by a major label, but just know it will be major,
It will. It's got to be major. It's got to be major.
Okay. So we lock in with that.
Exactly. Okay, Roger says it's a blessing for a singer who is, wait, let me make that bigger. Oh, here we go. Can you see this? For a singer who is able to know their ranges and can use it at any point. Like a boxer who has that left hook. Oh, I love that analogy.
That's it. That's actually right, spot on, Roger. That's it.
Yeah. It's so important though, right? I mean, because if you don't know what you can work with, you'll just do the same old thing that's comfortable all the time, right? And then we'd be missing out.
For the longest, I played it safe, but my safe was still better than average. So I got away with wow. And then now it's like, yo, I'm tapping into some spaces where I'm like, what?
Yes.
you got range in your full voice. Watch this.
Oh my goodness, that's major. That really is major. I mean, and to get feedback, of course, why I love you. Everybody fell in love with you and fell in love with the song, and you've got the song was so successful. I mean, I wrote some of these stats down. Certified gold. Over 150 million views.
We're inching up on platinum even. So I'm just like, God, you are amazing. It's the song is ultimately a love letter to God, a love letter to love itself, to understand what love is in heaven on earth, as it is here on earth. And I just wanted to give people a golden print, also known as the blueprint, of how love is really to be.
I like the golden.
Yeah. The golden. It just I want them to understand how it's to be realized, and it's established on the concept of reciprocity. If we're both giving, nobody's left empty, and that
That's
right
right.
there,
Oh,
yeah.
that right there is everything. So where did this come from, Major? I mean,
I'm an old
you're
soul.
writing these. You are an old soul. I mean, you're writing these
I'm a
songs,
millennial,
and
but
just
I'm
what
an
you
old soul.
said. I mean, where'd you get that from? That is it. That is the
Yeah,
truth of it all,
yeah.
right?
I,
It's all about love.
yeah, the church raised me. The Word of God has raised me. Shout out to my mom and my family for keeping me focused in that space. But it has really enriched me in a way to help people understand the beauty of life can be fully enjoyed if you are honest with it, if you give it time to show you yourself and to grow you into the space that you ultimately will become. And it's not the easiest, but it's
Right.
so much easier when you allow it just to flow.
Yeah. I listen, that's you're speaking to the choir, preaching to the
Right,
choir.
right.
I mean, that is the journey, that is the goal. I mean, to then, the envy, the being competitive, all that stuff goes away because God never runs out. He has no limits. Of course, you can get yours. All you need to do is be in alignment.
There it is. God is love. Stevie Wonder, right when "Why I Love You" started, making a little noise, he said, after saying that, "I believe this will be the wedding love song for years to come."
Mm,
He called me and he said, "Major, I want you to continue to sing and write about love
mhm,
because God will always be there." And he says,
mm,
because God is love. And I've
yeah,
always known that scripture in John where it talks about that. And but it didn't hit me that in that moment a legend was giving me his formula to his
yeah,
great love songs. He's
yeah,
writing from the ultimate quintessential
yes,
expression of what love really is God. So if you write about it from that space, it will connect with every heart. And
yeah.
tell me a person that doesn't know a Stevie Wonder song.
Oh, listen, exactly. And Stevie, and he lives it. That
Yeah,
he's not just talking. This is
he
who he
lives it.
is. All
Absolutely.
the stuff that you're saying, that is our friend,
Yes.
Stevie Wonder. And
Yeah.
it's a blessing. It's a blessing to know him. And he will keep you on point. I mean, his sense of humor as well. But
Yeah.
heart if you know him, you already know
He's
what I'm
so
talking
silly
about.
and
Yes.
just you would just be laughing
He's so disrespectful.
yeah, right,
Yes.
right. Just so disrespectful and just calls it out. But one of the things I think he digs with me is I go back and forth with him. Because most people get a little, trepid, when they're
Right.
stars and celebrity. But
Yeah.
I've always had this thing because I guess growing up in such a big family, I done met every type of person. So I'm just like, listen,
Okay.
I know you. And so I just
Okay.
we
There
have a
were what, 13 of you, right?
right, yeah,
13.
13 siblings that I do have, and it's been pretty amazing getting to build with the legends and get love and inspiration. Mama Patty just called me 2 days ago to
Hmm.
tell me she saw at another wedding they used my song, but she was essential to making sure the world knew about Why I Love You as well.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Because, artists know. I mean, it's a family. They
Hmm.
know what you're doing it's pure talent. It's a gift from God.
There it
And
is.
you're using it. You are using it to spread the love. I'm sorry. I'm here ignoring all of our comments here. Carl is like Stevie Wonder. All's fair in love. Yeah, that's
Oh,
one
beautiful
of the
song. Yeah.
most beautiful songs. Actually, every last one of his songs I'm in love with.
Yeah.
Uh, Carl also said it's so beautiful and sad at the same time. Love.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah, I
That's
mean,
a
you
perspective.
open your. Yeah, it is. How about the song Honest? Tell us about that.
So honest is the why to why I love you. When you
Okay.
step into relationship, if you do not start with the true you, don't expect for it to last. And so I always
Ain't
try
that the truth?
because a lot of times we're stuck in spaces where we feel we need to accommodate someone's expectation of us versus giving them who you are. If they embrace that, that's the one you want to rock with for a lifetime. Because if it's hard, one of the hardest things to hold on to in life is a lie. And so for me, I just wanted to help people understand, because we've done it to ourselves. We've done it to ourselves in our, not just in regular intimate relationships, but just in general relationships where we put on to try to accommodate the pressures and the social constructs of society. And it's like, nah, I need you to show up, because every single one of us were created to be an answer to a specific need in the earth. And if we're chasing, listen, if we're chasing trends and chasing everything that's already been done, we're leaving our needs unmet only to hover around an already answered need. That's not cool.
It's not cool. And, people there's no judgment, but people want to be liked. People want to be accepted. They see someone that they feel like they want to connect with, and they'll, figure out, okay, what do you like? I could be that. I could be this. I could be that. And just like you said, you're kind of losing out on what you deserve, because you can't really keep that up. The representative is only, good for maybe a month. And then something's going to happen.
Some people can keep a representative up for years, but eventually
exhausting.
Eventually you grow tired and exhausted. So honestly, if this be the moment where people face themselves, Michael Jackson said it, honest is my man in the mirror. It is that if you want to make a change, take a look at yourself and make that change. And so what it requires is me standing in front of Major and saying, who are you? And the who you are is more than enough. So I'm going to lay down all of this presentation, and I'm going to embrace the authenticity that is my greatest strength, and watch how the world opens up to it.
What a beautiful thing to just, like you said, number one, face yourself. And it's like, okay, this is what it is. And then fall in love with that person, because you're the only one. You're the only one. This is what you got. This is what you got. So absolutely. China Black, come on, say if Maxwell. Oh, Major, what? I need to have my contact lenses in. Come on, say it, Major.
However, he's one of my falsetto heroes.
He's awesome. Yes, he is. Maxwell is awesome. And in fact, Maxwell is going to be at the station tomorrow.
He's celebrating his 30 years?
It's the 20th anniversary of Hang Sweet. Yeah.
Amazing.
Gosh, it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
It's amazing.
I'm like, oh my God. So anyway, my radio sister, Autumn Joy, gets to interview Maxwell. And I didn't feel bad because I have Major.
You have Major. Now that's Major for real.
That is Major for real. And Major, so China, you got left out there by me saying the wrong name. So China said, come on, say it, Major. Don't take my options away. That's right. Be yourself. Real or Memorex. Memorex, remember Memorex? We're talking tapes.
Yeah.
Memorex.
The Memorex CDs.
Yep, absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So, Major, you're doing your thing, singing, writing. I want to talk about the acting. You've been in some things, movies, television, stage. So, tell us about that. What are you working on? What do you want to happen?
Just recently, for those that were able to catch it, thank you. And for those that have yet to, on Hulu, it just premiered. I am playing a legend in the hit TV series Genius Aretha, starring Cynthia Erivo. And I am, let me let you guess which legend you think I'm playing. He has a falsetto. He's a soul giant. A giant.
Curtis Mayfield.
There it is.
I'm a major Curtis Mayfield fan.
I am playing. I have the honor of playing Curtis Mayfield.
Yes.
Genius. I'm in episode 7 and 8, 307 and 308. Make sure you check it out. The name of my episode is Chain of Fools, but it's a very special scene, a couple scenes that we have. And
I'm gonna have to go back.
And his her son, Curtis Mayfield's son, Che, is the engineer in the studio while I'm read this.
Oh, that is so awesome. Congratulations on that role. Now, did they hit you up for it, or your management said?
Well, they the director, Anthony Hemingway, reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in auditioning. And I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
I do more research, and I have to admit, I wasn't as schooled on Curtis Mayfield as I should have been. And when I learned the stuff that I learned about his contribution to the genre, to music in general,
to the society, his songs during the
conversation that he had, absolutely. When they, understanding he was a hope dealer. That's what they call me. I'm known as the hope dealer, and so to know that he has led the way in that is just remarkable to me. He's a giant, and I will forever honor his legacy. Yeah.
Well, I know one way you can honor it a little bit tonight if you want to hit us with a little bit of Curtis Mayfield that you did in the movie. I'm just saying, if you feel like it.
Listen, I was forever doing the people get ready, there's a train coming. I love that.
Oh, yes.
And when he says, get on up, Lord, he's just, woo-hoo, he's so incredible to me.
Yeah, your voice, Major, goodness gracious. Your voice is insane.
Listen, I was blown away. I'll forever honor that legacy. I was just like, wow, he's special. He's very special, and did not compromise on his message to the people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. So, what is this, Lisa? Darn, did I miss much? Yes, you missed it, but you can watch this over. We'll keep it up on all of WHUR's platforms. Yes.
And I'm sure a number of folks probably saw my work in Star. I was Queen Latifah's son on the Fox TV show Star.
Is that gone?
Yeah.
I loved that show.
Yeah,
you know what? That was you.
That was me.
I watched you all the time.
The last 4 episodes, I was her child that she had out of wedlock. Her stepfather molested her, and Rashad came.
Wow.
But I just saw her as my cousin, only to find out I was her son. So yeah.
See, I'm so glad I'm finally meeting you now. When I see you on all these television shows and movies, I'll know who I'm looking at. And is that something that you really want to happen right now?
Love it. Music and acting, and of course philanthropic humanitarianism. That's my heart. But I love acting as much as I love singing. It's a lot of it's an opportunity to rise up in the storytelling of people who mean something. I think every person in life deserves their story to be told. And when I'm given the opportunity to rise up in that role, I do it with honor and high regard. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I love a lot of these biopics that are being made and movies that are honoring, our legends. So I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of you. Seeing and hearing. I can't wait. So thank you for spending this time with us.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. And thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Is there anything else that you want us to know about you that maybe we don't know? We know that, you're in there writing. I wanted to ask you, what is a stage performance coach?
A stage performance coach is basically one who works on your stage presence, your ability to own a stage, to own the space that you're on. A lot of people don't have that element and they really want to be stars, but it's one of the essential pieces to being a performing artist, understanding and owning the space that you're in. I did that more before it hit for me. I don't have as much time to do it. However, just recently, I said I want to do some virtual group workshops on stage performance, because it helps for even, people outside of the entertainment professions, those that just need to own their space. It's confidence coaching, really. Yeah.
So, that's fantastic. And you're right. I mean, in music, there's no more artist development and all of that. So,
and that's what it is. It's essentially a third party development component. Artist development.
I love it.
Professional development aspect, and I love helping people find that. Locking into their why. And it's a beautiful thing, man. We're in this thing.
Look at you. Yeah, look at you sharing the talent. And so for people who would love to just connect with you about that, maybe they want to get a little coaching and follow you on social media and all of that, how do they do that?
Well, you can find me nowthat'smajor.com everywhere. And remember, major is spelled with all caps and a period. Or you can go to social media at Now That's Major everywhere on social media. I also want to shout out some DC folks that I love, to Reggie and Brittany Packnett Cunningham, some very influential folks out there doing the work on the ground for our people. I salute you, my fraternity brother, Kenyatta Creighton, and all my DC Alpha brothers. The Howard Beta chapter. I love some Howard. I just love all of you guys, Chloe and Tiara. I love everybody that knows me in DC and supports me in the greater DMV area. Thank you to WHUR. Your support means more than you know. You, Queen, I love you and I thank you.
Thank you so much. Love you too. Love your music. Keep doing what you do. And I'm going to follow you. I'm going to be looking for you to follow me back.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Wow, that was so much fun. I knew he was going to show up. He just wanted to see if I was going to sweat. I think I did a little bit, but it was so worth it. Thank you for coming. Thank you for commenting. And we do this all for you. So make sure every Wednesday night, every Thursday night, every Sunday night. Oh, actually, I think even Tuesday night, we've got news. We've got something for you almost every night of the week. And so to make sure you don't miss one thing, go to WHUR.com, do it often, and just find out who is coming up next. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, my radio sister, Autumn Joy, is going to go one-on-one with Maxwell. I kind of slipped up and said his name earlier, but make sure you check her out tomorrow. Listen to her from 10 to 3 on the number one station in the DMV. That's 96.3 WHUR. Have a good night.